What do you think what's the biggest thing that people misunderstand about people like you? What do you, like if we start talking about rich people, what do you think is the biggest thing that these people would misunderstand about you all?
I'd say like the one thing people say is like,
talk right into the mic.
Like I look really, sorry, I look really white for how Hispanic I am, but like, so like I feel like people just think like, oh yeah, he like is classified as Hispanic, but like he comes from like white privilege almost, and
yeah.
like that's just like, and I kind of thought that too until like I saw like where my dad comes from, and like he kind of told me how he came up and stuff like that, and just like it's kind of hard to think like, you know, there was really no privilege, that like everything was kind of earned that like my family got. So like, you know, I look up to my dad just because, you know, he's someone who really started with nothing and has become successful, and you know, kind of I take that to heart because it's kind of like I have a head start to where he began his life, and I don't want to kind of waste that opportunity.
Yep. Okay, cool. Somebody else. What do you think people misunderstand?
I think I also have very similar like outlook is wealth. My dad was the first person to go to university, and he went to like a polytechnic. And so for me to even go to Penn State is a huge jump in quality of education. Like for most people, I guess it's like, oh, like went to Penn State and now like my kids are going to an Ivy. But I don't know, I just think I'm like authentic. I don't like for my family we don't, because we value more experiences. Like we don't have an expensive house. It was like the first house we bought. Like I drove like a car older than me as the first car we got in America. Like I get it. Like I don't think I'm like rich, but I definitely know I have so much, like I have a lot of opportunity.
So you're fortunate.
Of course.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. Yeah, somebody else. What do you think people misunderstand?
So I think a lot of people at my school would just automatically think that my parents have like Arab money, that like they got it from like owning a gas station or something, like oil, like Arab oil money or something like that, but like, or that they inherited it, they just like brought it like foreign money into the country, but like that's not the case at all, because my parents literally my dad grew up, he studied in England, and then from there he went to Iran, and then from Iran he went back to England, and that's when they had me, and then they came to America with absolutely nothing. So.
Grace, yeah, thanks. How about you? What do you think people misunderstand the most?
This is like because I agree with everything everyone said up here so far. But this like is really recent for me. Like when like I came
Talk
up
right
here,
into the mic.
When I came up here, like, you know, everyone asks like when they're trying to get to know you, like, oh, like where are you from? And I'll be like DC, and they'll like ask, you know, and like I'll like mention like to some people who ask, like I'll be like, oh, my dad works like, you know, on Penn Ave or whatever. And I found that like a lot of people assume that my dad is like a Trump supporter, and like that's not the case at all. Like when they see like, you know, like I remember like him picking me up at school, and like some of my friends like, you know, like saw like, you know, him like in his like, you know, suit or whatever, like they were like, oh, like, you know, she's like, you know, like a Republican, like she supports Trump, and like I got like heckled at my school, and like he didn't vote for Trump, like he you know, it's like I don't know, like, and that's not a problem. Like I'm not saying that like I judge anyone for that, but I've just thought that's really interesting that like just because of like where I'm from and like the location of my dad's like office, that people literally think that like he works for Donald Trump. He does not work for Donald Trump.
So let me ask you, I work for Donald Trump, by the way.